We open up today's program with a look at two of the younger drivers here at Fraser Downs, John Abbott and Billy Davis Jr., who are among the many new fresh faces here at Fraser Downs that are being called the next generation of the sport in BC. How long have the two of you known each other?
As long as I can remember.
20 years.
20 years, huh? And you guys are still close. Both you guys, your dads are drivers. Tell us about your dad and then how much of an influence he had on you getting to do this.
Well, he's been the main influence on me. You know, he is my role model. I look up to him. And yeah, I used to come down after school and skip out a couple classes and come down, put a couple horses away, and come down on weekends and summer vacations. I started working for him as soon as I graduated.
Was he a hard person to work for?
Very hard. He was not easy to get along with. Very strict. He has a strict routine and you gotta stick with it. And just everything's gotta be perfect. You know, he is a perfectionist and there's no slacking off and it's gotta get done right.
He's doing very well for a young guy there. He's progressing fairly well, better than I expected, that's for sure. And gotta be proud of what he's done. You know, the kid gets up early and does his work, and his work ethic's come a long way.
My dad's been a big influence on everything that I've accomplished so far. I didn't really start working for him until we moved out to Ontario with about 5, 6 horses. He needed help, so that's when I first started, you know, jogging, messing around the barn. Next thing you know, I'm training, and just caught the bug, I guess.
Been driving for about a year now, and he's steadily gotten better from when he started. Handles the horse good and knows his way around the track. He's okay. He's doing all right.
When you mentioned that you were going to want to drive, was he behind you?
100%. Yeah. He knew this is what I wanted to do. The one thing he always told me was, don't be in a rush. You know, it'll all come in time.
What's it like driving against them?
It's a pretty good feeling going out there and beating him. Try and put him in his place, teach him how to drive properly.
Exactly.
Well, you?
Oh yeah, I always chirp at him after the races if I beat him, or if I bug him if I win more than him in a weekend. Or
But you're behind a 1,200-pound animal. What's it like?
as soon as those wings fold and you're launching out of there, you know,
Blood gets pumping.
blood gets pumping and you're right in the thick of things. You're sitting behind a 1,200-pound animal and there's 4 in front of you and 3 behind you, and it doesn't get any better than that.
Did you go barn to barn? How do you go hustle? How do you hustle guys?
Well, mainly you just go out there and do your best on the track. You know, the trainers see what you're doing out there, and if they like what you got, they'll put you down on their horse.
You're hustling yourself because you don't have an agent, right?
You just gotta keep driving until, you know, people notice, right? Keep grinding.
I've been pretty fortunate with the drives I'm getting now. I'm getting a lot of the trainers starting to put me down on more horses, so it's pretty nice that way. But starting out was pretty slow. It all just didn't happen. You know, you got to start from the bottom and work your way up. Only getting like 1 drive a weekend, and not very good ones, but they're still drives. And
Jim, there was a time when you were a young driver. What's the status on these two young guys that are coming up? Have they progressed?
Well, they've come leaps and bounds this meet. They're really doing good. Both of them driving good and everything. It's always a learning experience. So they still got some learning to do, and I'm sure they'll get more and more experience as they go. So as long as they just take it in stride and don't get bigger in the game, that's all I can tell them. You gotta just go with the flow.
Fraser Downs is not exactly like some of the other tracks around in Canada. There's more trainer drivers here, so a lot of guys train and drive their own horses. So when you're starting out and trying to get drives, you got everybody driving their own horses, right? So it takes a while to people to warm up to you.
Your most memorable drive?
probably be my first win. So Spartacus DJ. My dad trained the horse, and my mom, grandma, and my sister owned the horse together. So he was sired by the horse that I learned to jog on, Spartacus LMN. So
Oh, Sparky.
Old Sparky. So it was a pretty cool feeling winning with that horse.
What did Sparky mean to you?
Sparky's pretty much the reason why I started getting into the business. He was the first horse I sat behind on a jog cart. He was, when I come down and help on the track, you know, he was my favorite. I always spent time with him. You know, he was just a cool racehorse. He knew he was a champion. He acted like it.
What would you guys like to do in the future?
I think everybody's goal is to just, become a big driver on not so much a big driver, but a competitive driver on a big circuit racetrack.
Well, my dream's always been to drive on the Woodbine circuit, Woodbine, Mohawk. That's the dream. So.
Who's your influences?
We watch a lot of Meadowlands. We like watching. We pay attention to a lot of the other tracks, and like during the week, we go down and watch races from other tracks and stuff, and we're always trying to watch what they're doing, you know?
I try and keep my eye on a couple of my favorite drivers and watch what they're doing, how they drive a 15 to 1 shot, how they drive a favorite that's got a lot of speed, and just try and learn, watch them and see how they handle horse and try and do what they do.
You could say you're still going to school.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.